Right. So the next lesson is going to be about how to leverage Facebook groups, which is going to be a topic that's unknown to many people, but I feel like it's very important, and I wanted to include it within this course. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because people don't realize the power Facebook groups have when it comes down to marketing. Now, you can, before I even start, right? I will not teach you how to create a Facebook group. Like, this is the simplest thing, right? You do this through your personal account and then you connect it with your business suite. It's very easy. We're not going to be covering that. However, I'm going to be covering very specific details on how to actually make groups stand out and enhance your engagement with your community, right? So let's go over it. Here's what we're going to cover: creating and managing Facebook groups, engaging with communities to build brand loyalty, using groups for lead generation and customer support, and that's pretty much it. Now, warning, this is the most important video in the entire course. So watch the entire video, don't skip and don't fast forward. And pro tip, as always, if you want to save your time, watch the video in 2x speed. So, creating and managing Facebook groups. So, first of all, why do they even matter? They allow you to connect with a targeted audience. Facebook groups bring together people who share a specific interest. For brands, this means gathering a community that's already interested in what you offer. They also boost engagement. This is what I talked about, right? Group members are more likely to engage in discussions, share experiences, and respond to posts than on a typical business page, which is your homepage, right? And these groups will serve you as conversational and friendly extensions of your business, which will also allow you to not only be seen like a shark that just wants to get as much profits as possible, but also as a human being who builds communities, and then these communities are going to build relationship with your audience, which then will ultimately lead you or lead your audience to trust you more, which then will also lead for them to buy from you. Again, it will establish authority, right? Like I've said, a well managed group positions you or your brand as an expert in your field, fostering trust and credibility. Next thing, you will foster community. Groups create a space where members feel valued and connected, increasing loyalty over time. Next thing that they're going to give you is organic reach advantage. Unlike business pages, posts in Facebook groups often get better organic visibility, meaning your content is seen by more people. Now, let me quickly give you the best practices for managing a Facebook group according to my own experience, right? So, first of all, define your purpose clearly. Set a clear purpose for your growth, right? Is it for support? Is it for sharing tips? Is it for networking? Is it for finding jobs? Is it for giving valuable advice? Communicate this in the group's description, and you have to communicate it as clearly as humanly possible. Next thing that's very important, you have to establish group rules. Create rules to maintain a positive and respectful environment. This sets expectations and reduces conflicts, which is, if you have conflicts within your group, that's the worst thing that can happen, right? Next thing, post consistently. Keep the group active by sharing valuable content regularly, such as tips, updates, or questions to spark discussions. Now, like I've said, like Hormozy says, like you need to give away your best content for free and then have even more to sell them, right? So it's like very, very simple. Like you have to just give them something they look for, not things they already have, right? Because that's what the majority of people do. They give away these free PDFs, these freebies, but nobody cares about them simply because The internet is overloaded with this, and you have to find something that's going to be personal to them and they're going to find of value. And the best place to do that is through Facebook groups. And moderate effectively. Monitor posts and comments to ensure they align with your group's purpose. Remove spam and handle disputes diplomatically. Also, encourage member contributions. Invite members to share their experiences, ask questions, or post ideas. This makes them feel involved and valued. Now, how to engage with communities to build brand loyalty. So, first of all, start with listening. That's very important. Spend time understanding what the members are discussing. Learn about their pain points, interests, and goals, right? You really want to spark discussions. You want to, create polls. You want to create quizzes. You want to create, I would even say like polarizing topics to get the discussion going. And based on that, you want to note trends, right? You want to identify common questions or concerns that come up repeatedly. Use these as opportunities to provide valuable insights. Also, acknowledge members' needs. Show members that you're paying attention by addressing their concerns in your posts or comments. When you see someone just struggles with, you know, let's say writing emails, you're just gonna say, I saw, Sarah struggling with her email, and this is why I created this personalized tutorial and I answered some of the questions she had when she was discussing with me, right? Or with other members. In this way, you're going to create a lot of trust, a lot of credibility, great stuff. Also, it's very important. Avoid overselling. First, focus on building trust through meaningful conversations rather than just pushing sales. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna push sales, people are going to see through it. And to be honest with you, it's game over for you. Also, celebrate wins. Share success stories from your group members to foster a sense of community. Also, communicate consistently. So you have to be there, right? And it takes work, and that's the only answer I can give you, right? Respond to comments and messages quickly. Your engagement sets the tone for others to follow because you should lead by example. Like I've said, create polls, which gives you space for feedback. Also, host live events. Use live video sessions for Q&A, tutorials, or behind the scenes content. These interactions build stronger connections. Also, personalized interactions. That's very important. Use members' names when responding and reference past conversations to show you really care. Like if you guys can make it feel personal and if you make it really feel like a community, not just some randomly created Facebook groups to increase sales, you're building name, you're building a brand, and that's very important, right? And next thing, recognize contribution. Highlight active members with shoutouts or rewards. This keeps them motivated to engage further. Also, encourage positive interactions. So, what I mean by this, like I've said, you should lead by example, right? Be respectful, be nice to people. Also, create discussion prompts, post questions or scenarios that spark curiosity and that spark discussion. I've told you, be polarizing, give them different topics to talk about. Use your own personal stories and the things that happened in your life to spark discussion. Use some of their stories, like be like, I saw, Sarah struggling with email and now she sent me, this email in DMs and I was just shocked by how good she became. Like, yeah, use your common sense. It takes a lot of time, but the effort is great. Also, welcome new members. Regularly post a welcome message for new members, introducing them to the group. You can do this weekly, right? For example, because if you do this every single day, your head is just going to explode. We don't want that. You need to set up a system for this. Also, address issues quickly. If there's any issue, just address it quickly. Stand up like a man, resolve it. And also Share relatable stories, share personal stories, because if you share personal stories that make sense and that will really resonate with the group, you're going to get their trust, and therefore they're going to trust you more, which means there's higher probability that they will buy from you, right? Now, using groups for lead generation and customer support. Let me tell you how to actually generate leads through your groups. So, first of all, provide value first. Share free resources, guides, or tools that solve common problems for your members. Now, like I've said, you don't want to be giving them food they've already eaten when they're full. So, don't do that. Use call to actions. Add CTAs in your posts, like sign up for a free webinar or check out this exclusive offer. Pin lead magnets. Pin a post at the top of the group with links to downloadable guides or newsletters. And host exclusive events. Offer group only access to special events or promotions to capture leads. Also, run challenges. Organize group challenges that require signups, creating an engaging way to collect leads. Like I've told you, people are not silly nowadays, which means don't give them silly stuff, right? Like, give them actually something they will feel like, oh, wow, this is value, right? Like, when you look at some of these YouTubers, when I'm talking about valuable lead magnet, they post like 24-hour courses on their channels. It's not just a 5 page, PDF. It's something that will actually give you value. And like, I'm not saying you should create 24-hour course, but you should think of the value in a bigger way, right? And next up, customer support tactics. Create an FAQ resource, right? Pin a post with answers to frequently asked questions when it comes down to your group. Respond to questions quickly. Either hire somebody else, or if you're at the starting point, make it a habit to answer member, questions quickly, once a day, every 24 hours, for example, right? Also, encourage peer support. Empower members to share their solutions or advice, creating a collaborative atmosphere. And also use tags. Tag members in responses to make sure they see your answers. Also, make sure you monitor feedback. So, regularly review member feedback to improve your products or services. Now, proven steps for conversion, right? To get leads. First of all, build trust over time. Don't rush to sell. Focus on building relationships and establishing yourself in front of your audience. That's the main point. Offer exclusive deals. Provide group only discounts. Follow up outside the group. Use lead forms or surveys to collect contact information, and then you will follow up via email or messaging. And also track engagement metrics, which means you just need to monitor which posts or activities generate the most interest and focus on replicating. Like I've said, pull all your eggs into baskets that generate you the most results. And last but not least, highlight success stories, because people love to be mentioned and being celebrated. So the conclusion: creating and managing a Facebook group is a powerful way to build a loyal community, generate leads, and provide exceptional customer support if you do it correctly. And you do that correctly by focusing on meaningful engagement, clear communication, and consistent value your audience wants. And you can basically turn your group into a thriving hub for your brand. Remember, success comes from genuine connections and a commitment to meeting your members' needs. All right, guys. So this lesson was all about leveraging the Facebook groups and actually using Facebook groups not just as a random tool, but an actual tool that will build authority and respect for your business, which will ultimately result in people more trusting you and more people will be essentially more likely to buy from you. So, with that being said, I hope you guys learned something new, and I cannot wait to see you in the next lesson. Talk to you soon.